Let me get this thing out of here. Sorry. Okay, so this is basically what Dr. Edmond was referring to about depoliticizing our fighters. And so, as we have been saying since February, we have a group of Southern Cameroonians who are not interested in the politics and politicking, but want to move our struggle forward, who have come up with a war relief fund. And this war relief fund, what we have on our screen is a white paper of the war relief fund, what it is all about. And we are going to circulate this paper after this town hall session. And it's just in 4 parts that the war relief fund would be a one-pot national depository where all Southern Cameroonians and international benefactors can make financial donations or contributions towards assisting our frontline liberators. So it is basically for our frontline liberators. It will serve as a central depository that will interface directly with the commanders of the frontline liberation camps without need for political or activist intermediaries. So we don't need politicians or demagogues or activists to come and tell us, raise money, give it to me, we will decide, because we have seen how that ends. We are seeing it going now. We have 5 years documented of how these things end. It is all allegiance, it is all groups, it is all using the fighters to do videos, do propaganda, put themselves at risks, and many of them have been killed. So the War Relief Fund will serve the needs of all our frontline liberators who have sacrificed themselves to defend the flag without regard to political or partisan affiliation, sectionalism, or group. So what is the purpose? The purpose is to restore confidence in Southern Cameroonian benefactors who have been burnt by past misuse and mistrust in political activists and group intermediaries, to restore confidence in Southern Cameroonian benefactors through transparent operations, accountability to all Southern Cameroonians, and to bring results on ground zero, and to encourage and mobilize commitment to a sustainable funding source of our frontline liberators. Because we have discovered that we cannot sustain this fight by raising money on WhatsApp groups or fundraisers where people don't show up, or some people say, okay, we've been talking, we are not raising money, we are not doing this. But whenever we try to raise money, it has been through political groups or through activists. That is not how we are going to raise sustainable money. When people donate one time, they leave, and then they say for 3 months, nothing has happened. And then they say the war is not done. When you donate money and that money is used for an operation, that operation ends. But La République is a country. So they continue, and we are not sustaining the funding for our fighters. So this is going to be a system that people would just go in there and just randomly put money, recurring or anything you have, you put in there, so that we don't have to be doing fundraiser after fundraiser after fundraiser with all kinds of funny captions to make it look as if something is happening when really our guys are desperate. And this important point to what Doc said, this would depoliticize our frontline liberators who for the past several years have had to deal with political, activists, and group strings attached to much needed financial assistance. Because our fighters, every time we meet them, they need help. They cannot refuse this help. They are not getting this. They don't have granite. They don't have materials. They don't have food money. And what they receive always comes with strings. Do videos, pay allegiance to us, call our name, promote our group. That is not how we are going to win this war. This will also go to encourage and support unity and cohesion and coordination amongst the various liberation camps, and inculcate esprit de corps among our liberation camps. Like Doc was saying, a fighter should be able to leave Fako and go and fight in Menchum, if needs be. A fighter should be able to leave Bali and go and fight in Kumba, if needs be, because we are fighting a national war. We are not fighting a factional or a tribal war. We would also help, once we can get one source to help our fighters, it will also restore discipline and focus and purpose and mend faltering relationships with our communities. Right now, our fighters are being told, go and chase license plates, go and chase frogs, go and enforce Izakam, go and burn trucks, go and do this. That is not what these guys put their lives on the line to do. And that's why we want to be able to sustain them independent of activists and demagogues who are using them from the diaspora to go chasing other things other than why we started this war. So how would the War Relief Fund operate? The War Relief Fund will be operated on a well-tested, licensed, and trusted platform. It will be on DAC. We all know DAC. The funds raised will be deposited into an account which will be managed by a select group of non-aligned Southern Cameroonians of character and integrity who will interface directly with the aforementioned commanders of the liberation frontline liberators. It is important to emphasize here non-aligned Southern Cameroonians. So we are not going back to groups to manage the money. People who want to belong to their groups, it's their prerogative. Let them belong to their groups. But they will not be the people managing these funds. If you want to run your group, run your group. If you have your camp, take care of your camp. But these would be Southern Cameroonians who are not aligned to any particular political organization, because we do not want that politics. The idea is to depoliticize our fighters. Disbursements shall be need-based after due consultation with the commanders and with notification to DAC responsible for the MFA. The MFA is the multi-factor authentication. So the money is raised on DAC. Every time they go in there to get money, they would need the code to access the account from DAC. DAC is an independent guarantor or third eye to the money, independent of the fighters, independent of the Southern Cameroonians who would be overseeing and managing this account. That is for the benefit of accountability, transparency, and trust. Beneficiaries, that is our frontline actors, fighters, shall be required to acknowledge receipt derived from the World Relief Fund in writing, audio or video, or any combination of the three mediums. So if money is disbursed, it will not be like people coming and telling us previously we sent money and then the fighters are saying they did not receive the money because people have embezzled money. So we are not asking them to go and take videos of fighting and put this. No, it is an acknowledgement of receipt which will be documented so that Southern Cameroonians know that this money, if 5,000 leaves the account, it is documented by the fighters, will receive 5,000. That is it. That's where it starts and ends. Copies of monthly bank statements shall be made accessible to all members of the group, and quarterly reports issued to donors on request, so that people know what came in every month, people know what goes out every month, and people can ask questions before things get out of hand. In addition to the select group, DAC shall at all times have access to the monthly bank statements as an independent third party not answerable to the select group. DAC will provide the bank statements to auditors or any other control or compliance mechanism as deemed necessary. By virtue of its platform and MFA authority, DAC can halt any and all suspicious transactions, be them deposits or withdrawals. So we don't want it to become a place where people would launder money, say, oh, I'm contributing 10,000, and then call you back and say, oh, I'm sorry, I need that money again. I would give it back. Can you send me this? People do all kinds of funny things. Or if money is leaving the account and we are not getting receipts from the commanders, as required, then that is going to halt any money leaving so that no group of people have monopoly over controlling the money. And finally, what does the Southern Cameroons War Relief Fund hope to achieve? It hopes to achieve support sustainability for our frontline liberators so that there will consistently be support and we will not have fundraiser after fundraiser. These funds would go towards material and logistics, like food, health, movement, and all of that stuff for our fighters. It would help even spread simultaneous resistance across the national territory, so that if we are helping all the groups, they can now be able to operate simultaneously in Fako, in Menchum, in Bui, in Donga Mantum, in Kupe, wherever across the territory. They can refocus on what our mission is instead of chasing squirrels and taking their eyes off the elephant. Now that they are not depending on political groups that have their own agenda, they would be required to focus on La République Army. That would be the sole purpose for which they will be operating. It will free our frontline liberators from dependency on political activists, groups, opportunists who barely assist them and send strings and conditions that distract them from their mission. It will remobilize and renew hope in our bewildered population, and it would build a sense of purpose amongst our frontline liberators across the entire territory. We hope that if they are focused and they can fight across the territory, it would stretch La République thin and it will make it easier for our fighters. So I think that's the length of this white paper. And this is just a quote from Martin Luther King, where we have to start thinking national as opposed to sectarian or regional. So, Ma Anastasia, see you have your hand up. Were you going to say something?
I put my hand up too early, sorry. No,
go ahead.
I wanted to make a comment on what has been the topic about the policies that some groups are putting out there and to relate it to the World Relief Fund. I think that we really need to give back power to ground zero, because the reality is we are very divided in the diaspora. The ground zero knows what they are facing, and I think they should decide what policy suits them. So we should not always try to analyze the, of course it's good to analyze it to say what what some of these policies or the senselessness of this policy, but I think we should focus on empowering ground zero by telling them that they should take their destiny into their hands. They should stop thinking that we can make policies. I was asking one of our brave warriors if they have ever seen in any history, in any war of independence, where the people who are not on the field, who know the reality, are telling them what to do. If it has never happened, then there is no need for them, for us to be even wasting our time about what is wrong or what ground zero. They should make their policies. They should be educated guys. Some have degree. We can't tell them what to do, and we should shut our mouth in diaspora and let these people do what they can do. They know what is happening. They know their neighbors. They know the good Francophones. They know the bad ones. They know the good Ambazonians. They know the bad Anglophones. So let them handle their thing accordingly, and we should respect them and stop bringing out, talking to them and telling them what to do without even asking their opinion. That's the first thing. And the reason why this World Relief Fund is very important is to give them that liberty. I was very happy to listen to one of them who said that sometimes why they get exposed is because after groups who reform materials, they expect them to make videos. And unfortunately, sometimes they make, which is what we should be doing, what we have got or done with their money. But the donor is not Facebook, it's not WhatsApp. So anybody who is taking the videos that these guys have done to acknowledge what they have received and showing it on WhatsApp or Facebook is a politician. And that is how La Republic now can assess how much power does Cam A or Cam B has. Immediately they can assess it. They can now plan their strategy to overpower these people. So these are the things we should avoid. And the more we can really find an independent source to just help these boys like we are doing with the CSO. We don't care whether the group that is carrying out the project is, we don't even know their names. Sometimes a group carries out a project, we just say CSO, but we are all together, and CSO you cannot really determine who is a human being behind. You just know that there are groups of Southern Cameroonians working hand in hand to solve this problem. And this is what we think we should achieve. After so many years of chaos, I think it's time for us to be more focused. Thank you.
Thank you, man, Star, for that. And yes, hopefully, people would come to see and appreciate and understand what this War Relief Fund is all about and what it is trying to achieve, and get on board with it. So thank you very much for your words of encouragement. It will take time to educate our people. Good information travels very slowly. There are obviously people who would see this as a, as we say back home, say they remove Gary for their mop and try to sabotage it and twist it and, you know, all kinds of negative. But like everybody who has had a good word, we have to stick with what is correct. We have to stick with the truth, and it would come to light. So on the thing I shared, it has the web page where people can go in and make donations to the fund. The darkcommunity.org.WRF. If you go to that website right now, you can actually start making donations. Let me just see if I can bring that up and share with our people. Okay. I apologize for this. Okay, let me share this. Okay, so if you see on your screens, that is the website which is operational. If you go to the link which we shared, this is you can go to the monthly where it says monthly donations. And if you click there, or you can go to PayPal or wherever, you can now go in and either donate 50, 100, 200, or choose another amount to donate. If you want to donate with PayPal, or if you want to use your credit card directly. If you want to make a monthly recurring, you check here. And if you want to offset any fees, you can check. It's going to tabulate and add to that. So this is the web page where people can go and start donating. And this is transparent. We, by next town hall, are going to have a proper launch. We are just doing a soft launch today to introduce the white paper, introduce the website, introduce the fund. And if you want to use Cash App or Zelle, or you want to go by PayPal, or you just click there and you can get the website. But this is something that has been done and coordinated with our fighters on the ground, and they like the idea. They love the idea, and they support the idea. And when the time comes, once we start making donations and they start receiving, they will come up to give their support and encourage people.